Good morning and welcome to Strength and Balance. My name is Hannah and I'm a senior fitness instructor with Stonebridge Community Services. Today's workout is going to be a full body workout, lots of fun. We're going to use some weights, choose a size that feels appropriate for you today, or go without and do this exercise routine with no extra resistance. Both of those options are just fine. Just a word, we will have 3 different exercises that are kind of mixed throughout the workout that will be on the ground. I will give a seated or a standing option. It's a seated option actually for all 3. If you don't want to be down on the floor, we can modify it to make that work for you. The second part of the class will be balance. You'll want to be positioned close to some kind of support furniture. So chair, table, the back of the sofa. I use the wall as support. So something to keep you stable, supported, and safe. Let's make sure we have some water. It's still summer, and although it isn't sunny here today, it is really warm. So let's make sure that we keep ourselves well hydrated. All right, let's see. Let's come up to feet. We are going to warm up, and then we will get started. Whoop. Good, standing up nice and tall, we're going to march on the spot. Moving those arms forwards and backwards, standing up nice and tall. We're going to take a deep breath in, a big inhale. Slowly lower those arms. Deep breath in, reach those hands up. Slowly lower, good. Inhale and exhale, good. Let's pull those shoulders up towards our ears. Relax them down. Lift those shoulders and lower. Pull those shoulders up and down. Lift and lower. Good. Let's roll our shoulders. Nice big circles. Good. And let's roll those shoulders forwards. Let's bring those arms out to the side, little circles here. Good, and back the other way. Good, we're going to bend at the elbows, bring those hands in, reach those hands out, hands in, and out, whoops. Hands in, and out, hands in, and out, and again, hands in, and out. Great, let's take both hands, we're going to push away from your chest, pull those hands in, push, and pull, push, and pull, push, and pull, push, and pull. Good, let's take those hands up to the ceiling and pull down, up, and down, up, and down, up, and down. Good, relax those arms. Let's tap our toes forwards. Good, and switch, so we tap those heels forwards. Good, we're going to tap those toes to the sides. Good, and tap those heels to the sides. Good, let's take one foot, tap your toe and your heel. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe. Tap your toe and your heel. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, and heel. Let's bring those feet together. Let's tap our toes. We're going to wiggle our fingers. Let's tap our heels and tap those fingers to your thumb. Good, let's tap our feet, both feet at the same time, and we'll circle those wrists. Let's tap our heels and circle those wrists the other way. Good, let's stand with those feet hip width apart here. We're going to circle our hips nice and slowly. Good, and back in the other direction. Excellent, let's take a nice deep breath. Big inhale, slowly lower those hands down. Great, and we can begin. We're gonna start with, first exercise is gonna be a squat. We're gonna hold one weight. Hold it in a comfortable spot, so somewhere near the center of your body. And let's walk those feet out so they're nice and wide. We're going to stand up tall. We're going to inhale, sink into that squat, and exhale, push yourself back up. Nice and slowly as you lower. And then exhale as you stand. We can be a little bit quicker on the way up. Good, excellent. Keep that chest nice and tall. Let's do two more. Last one. Good. We'll pause for just a moment here. So as I said at the beginning, we're going to do each set back to back. So we've done one set of squats. We're going to do the other right now. So let's hold that weight somewhere close to the center of your body. Feet out nice and wide. I like to turn my toes out a little bit, and then my knees kind of go in that direction. So my knees track over my toes. Here we go. Inhale as we slowly lower down. Exhale as we stand. Shoulders are relaxed. The chest is nice and tall. Looking up at the head. Last one. Good. You can pop that weight down for a moment. Have a drink here if you want to. Moving on, we're going to switch to our upper body. Still with the one weight, we're going to take this weight up overhead. I'm going to stand to the side so you can see what this looks like. I'm going to lift that weight right up overhead. I'm holding in, can you see? My hands are cut off by the camera. I'm holding in two hands. We're standing up tall, not with our knees bent. I'm going to lower this weight behind my head and then straight back up to ceiling. You're only going as far as you comfortably can here. This one is quite intense to have that hand and that weight up high and to lower behind. So let's take this nice and slow. Really thinking about breathing. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale as you lift. Good, nice and slowly. One more here. Good, and let's lower those arms. Great, pop the weight down for a moment. Give your hands and your arms a break and a little wiggle. And then we'll do that again. So this is a tricep extension. We're working this muscle in the back of your arms, your tricep muscle here. So let's try those again. Take that weight right up above your head. Feet are hip width, knees are soft. We're going to slowly lower that weight and hands up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you lower down. Exhale as you reach back up. This might be feeling tricky by now. We're going to do two more. Here's one. And two. Good. And slowly lower. Excellent. Good. Next exercise is one that will have a floor option if you would like it. So let me show you what we're going to do seated, and then I'll be on the floor. So seated, you're going to do a pelvic tilt. So we'll sit in the middle of the chair, sitting up nice and tall. You're going to push your tailbone out behind you and then tuck your tailbone under. Good. So you're tilting that pelvis. Inhale as you push that tailbone out. Exhale as you do that tuck under. And that's your pelvic tilt. That's your seated option. If you want to be on the ground, we're going to go down together. So step 1 foot forward, hinge forward at the hips. Let's lift that back heel, come down, hands either side of that front foot, down to all fours. Bring those knees out to the side, and let's come onto our back. And we're going to do a bridge lift. So I'm lying on my back, feet on the floor, knees bent. I'm going to take a big inhale, and I'm going to lift my hips, slowly lower towards the floor. So let's do those together. If you're seated, pelvic tilt. If you're on the ground, bridge lift. Here we go. Breathing out as you lift those hips. And breathing in as we slowly lower down. Good. Let's do 2 more. Breathing out as I lift. Breathing in as I slowly lower. Good. And we can pause here. We'll just take a moment. I'm not going to get up in between because I'm going to do another set of these exercises here. So if you are seated, you're going to go ahead with that pelvic tilt on the ground. Here we go. Bridge lift again. Lifting up, slowly lowering those hips. So breathing, if you're seated, if you're doing that pelvic tilt, you're breathing in as you push your tailbone out behind you, breathing out as you tuck under. Good. Here in the bridge lift, we're breathing out as we lift and breathing in as we lower down. Moving nice and slowly. Let's do 2 more. The last one. Good. And then we're going to come up to the feet. So I'm going to walk my feet to one side, rolling onto my side. And let's slowly push ourselves up. Good. And up to feet. Excellent. Next one, we're going to use one weight. We're going to do a hip hinge. So it's going to be like a deadlift movement. I'm going to show you from 2 different angles. So I'll show you here what we're doing with the weight. My feet are hip width. My knees are soft. I'm going to hinge forward at the hip. I'm bringing that weight, you can see, over to my right. Stand up and then over to the left. I hinge and have a bit of a diagonal movement. So from the side, that hip hinge looks like this. My knees are soft. Stick that bum out behind me. Let's try those together. So we're going from one side to the other, like a diagonal movement with the weight. So hinging forwards, lowering that weight one side, and then the other. Inhale as you lower. Exhale as you stand. Good. We don't want to be too fast. We want to think about that nice flat back. Good. Let's stand up. Excellent. We're going to do that one more time. So holding that weight in 2 hands, feet hip width, knees soft. Let's hinge. Bring that weight diagonally. One side, and then the other. Nice and slow. Good, deep breaths. Let's think about keeping that back flat. We'll do one more each side. Excellent. We can pop that weight down. Good. The next two exercises will be on the floor. I'll just show you one at a time. I can jump up and down in between each one, but if you're choosing to be on the floor, then you can be on the floor for a longer period of time here. So the first one we're going to do is a chest press. If you are seated, you will have one weight. We'll all be using one weight. If you're seated, you're going to hold that at your chest, push those hands out in front of you, and then slowly back. I do find this quite a bit more difficult to do from a seated position. If being, but it is a little bit more intense, I think, because I don't have the floor for support behind me. You can sit right back against your chair. Just make sure you're sitting up really tall, pushing that weight out in front of you, and then slowly back in. On the ground, we're going to bring that weight with us. So let's do that now. Find your position, whether you're seated or on the floor. I should put the weight floor first, and then we'll slowly bring ourselves down to the ground safely. So you want to be on your back. Again, knees bent, feet on the floor. I'm going to grab that weight. So when we're ready, we're pushing that weight up out in front of you if you're seated. If you're on the ground, you're pushing that weight up to the ceiling. Slowly lower down. Good. Nice exhale as you lift that weight. Inhale as you slowly lower. Let's do one more. Good, and lower that weight down. You can pause for a moment here, and we will do one more round of this chest press. If you're on the ground, so make sure your low back is really touching the floor. You might need to kind of adjust your hips, adjust your pelvis here. Make sure that low back is touching the ground, so you're supported all the way down. All right, let's pick that weight up again, and let's do another round here. So pushing that weight out in front of you if you're seated, or up to the ceiling if you're on the floor. Breathing out as you push that weight away. Nice inhale as you lower down. Good, we're going to do 3 more. 2 more. Last one. Good. And then we can relax that weight. If you're going to, even if you're on the floor, you're going to sit up now. The next exercise, you could be seated on the floor or on the chair. I will just show you what the chair looks like. We won't need the weight for this one. So if you're seated, your feet are on the floor, you're sitting up nice and tall, and you're going to twist one side and then the other. A nice little rotation Sitting up nice and tall. Shoulders are relaxed. One way and then the other. Not too fast. If you're on the ground, really similar. But we're sitting on the floor with our knees bent, feet on the floor. Now, the higher, the more upright you are, the easier this will be. If you want a little more challenge, you can lean back slightly. And you're going to twist, do that rotation one side to the other. All right, let's go. You're either seated with your feet on the floor or the chair, on the chair, seated on the ground with feet on the floor, and let's rotate one way and then the other. Think about keeping your head in line with the rest of your spine, so everything's moving, the whole upper body. Good, once more each side. Excellent. You can pause here. We'll take a nice deep breath. We'll repeat those here. All right, when you're ready, we'll go again. So feet on the floor. I'm going to lean back slightly. If you're in your chair, you're sitting up nice and tall. Feet are on the ground. We're thinking about that nice tall spine all of the time, no matter what position you are in. Good, once more each side. Excellent, and back to center. Okay, we're going to come up to feet here. So you can roll onto all fours if you're on the ground. Bring that one foot up and all the way. Good, grab a drink here. 2 more to do. Let's grab our one weight. We're going to do some heel raises. So standing up nice and tall, shoulders relaxed. Let's push up onto tiptoes. Slowly lower those heels. Keep that chest nice and tall. Shoulders are relaxed. I'm pulling that belly button in towards my spine. Good, couple more. Last one. Great. You can put the weight down for a moment if you want to, and then we'll repeat that exercise again. Good. Here we go. Holding that weight, standing up tall, push up onto tiptoes, slowly lower down. Good. Looking up and ahead, nice and slowly as we lower. Two more here. Excellent. You can put the weight down. Good. We have one more exercise to do, and it is upper body to finish here. I'm going to take my one weight. I'm going to do a bicep curl and an overhead press. My first round, I'm going to do it all on one side. So this arm is going to be tired. And then the second round, I'll do it all on the other side. If you know that's going to be fatiguing in a not beneficial way to that left arm to do everything on one side, you can alternate. You can switch up partway through I'm going to try and challenge myself by doing all the reps on one side and then all on the other. So let's stand up nice and tall. I'm going to have my weight at my side in that kind of hammer position and bringing that hand up towards my shoulder and then straight up to the ceiling. So you can see I'm rotating through my arm. My hand is at my side, and then my palm is facing me. And when I push up, my hand is facing away. And same thing on the way down. So I don't want to move too quickly here. So I want to think about that rotation, and especially on the way down. A big exhale as I push that weight up overhead. Good. Great, just 2 more here. Good, and the last one. Excellent, good. Switch that weight to the other side. We'll pause for a minute here, especially to give you a break if you are alternating. Good, nice deep breath. All right, when we're ready, we can go again. Let's curl that hand up and push up, nice and slowly down. Curl and press. Think about the rotation in 2 spots, here and here. Good. And rotate through that arm. Excellent. Does it feel more difficult on one side than the other? Great. It's hard to say which side feels the easiest for me. I think my left side is stronger, but the left side is the shoulder that if one shoulder is going to feel bad, it's the left. Good, and relax. Excellent. Pop that weight down. Good, very good. Let's take a nice deep breath here. Big inhale and exhale, lower down. So good. Let's grab a quick drink and then we are going to work on our balance. We're doing some nice and simple balance things today, nothing too complex. I wanted to go kind of back to basics a little bit because we had that week off, and sometimes that lack of practice can make that balance more challenging. Maybe you practiced every day when we weren't meeting through the week. Fantastic for you, but still worth going back and doing some of the simpler exercises. So let's make sure we're close to our support furniture. Mine is the wall right here, which is just the right height with this little ledge to hold on to if I need some support. So I'm going to stand with my feet really close to each other. So making that base of support really small, which is just a little bit of a challenge for our balance here. Feet should be nice and relaxed. We always want our feet to be relaxed and our knees to be nice and soft. We're going to stand up really tall. Take one arm up above your ceiling, up above your head to the ceiling. Reaching right up, and then the other hand if you can. Let's bring those arms to the side. Going to reach one forwards, one backwards. And the other way. Bring arms out to the side again. We'll aeroplane those arms. Good, let's relax those arms here. Excellent. Let's start with our feet a little wider than hip width, and we're going to shift our weight from one foot to the other, nice and slowly. Feet are on the floor to begin with, just lifting up through my heels. Good. I'm going to use my arms a little bit as I come to the left. Push my left arm as I move to the right. Going to push my right arm. Good. Let's switch up our arms, reach across your body. Breathing out as you push away. Good. Let's relax our arms and we're going to step from one foot to the other. So we're lifting the feet up off the ground. Good. Nice and slowly pausing a little bit as you lift each foot. Good. As I stand on my right foot, I'm going to raise the left and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto the left foot, raise the right. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Onto the right foot, raise the left. This time reach those arms up in the air. 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And the other way. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Feet on the floor. Excellent. We're going to work on our tightrope a little bit, but we're just going to move one foot at a time. So I'm going to start with my right foot. I'm going to step forwards and backwards. So I'm going to just forwards and backwards, forwards and back. Good. Standing up tall. Just that one foot nice and slowly. And begin. And let's switch feet. So the left foot is the one that moves now. Step forwards and backwards. Heel to toe. We're as close as heel to toe as you can. Once more. Excellent. And pause there. Good. We're going to do a little bit on one leg. So standing with those feet hip width apart. Knees nice and soft. Standing up tall. Let's take one foot. Tap that heel forwards. I want you to look forwards. Find something that isn't moving and focus your eyes there. And let's take this heel up off the floor. Just a little bit. Let's take one hand forwards. And if you can, take that second hand forwards. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. And let's switch. Standing on that left foot, let's tap that right heel forwards. Standing up nice and tall, focusing your eyes on something that isn't moving. Let's take that heel up off the floor. Reach one hand forwards. And the second hand if you can. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Excellent. We're going to stand with our feet one in front of the other here. As close as we can, heel to toe. And you might need to take the forwards a little bit so there's space between your feet. And let's make sure the weight is even between both feet and we're standing nice and tall and our knees are soft. We're going to tap the toes of our front foot. And now the heel on that foot. And now the toes of the back foot. I find that one really hard. I think that's where most of my weight must be. And then heel on the back foot. And let's do that again. Toes on the front foot. Toes on the back foot. Toes on the, sorry, I said it wrong. Toes on the back foot now. But heel on the back foot. And then let's just do one tap. Toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel, toe, heel. Let's switch our feet around and try it again, one tap at a time. Toe, heel, 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 toe, heel. Good. Easier that way. I don't know why. When my left foot is back, I place more weight on it, so I'm not sure what I'm doing there. All right, we're going to stretch. So let's take one arm, reach forward and bring that arm right across your body. You can use the other hand to just kind of hold it in position. Hold where you can feel that stretch through your shoulder, through your upper arm. And just take some nice deep breaths here. Good, let's switch to the other side. Good, relax that arm. Let's take one hand up to the ceiling, bend the other hand behind your back and hold here. You can use that other hand to hold, hold your elbow, hold in place. Good, let's relax those arms, switch to the other side, hand to the ceiling, bend the other hand behind your back and let's hold here. Good, we can relax this arm. Let's have a seat. We're going to sit forward in our chair, stretch one leg forward, heel on the floor, toe to the ceiling, and let's hinge forward. Feel that big stretch in the back of your leg. Let's sit up, switch to the other side. Heel to the floor, toe to the ceiling, and hinge forwards. Good, let's sit up. We're going to sit right back in our chair. Let's pull one knee in towards your chest. And let's circle this ankle. Back in the other direction. Good, let's point those toes to the floor. And lift, point, and lift, toes to the left, and the right, to the left, and the right. Good, place that foot on the floor. Let's pull that knee in and encircle this ankle. Back in the other direction. Good, point that toe to the floor, and lift, point, and lift, point, and lift, toes to the left, and the right, left, and right. Good, let's place that foot on the floor. We're going to stand up, reach those arms behind us, reach for the back of the room, take a deep breath in, and then exhale, wrap those arms around you. Give yourself a nice tight squeeze, a pat on the back. Thank you very much, everybody. Thanks for coming. This is a great first class back. Hope you enjoyed. You'll have Abby on Wednesday. That's just a one-off because I'm off. Otherwise, see you on Friday. Bye for now.
Thanks, Hannah.
You're so welcome.